Hello, everyone. So I know some of you guys are still coming on in and joining us. I am so excited to be sharing a new reveal with you, something I've never put out there in place. It's called the Business in a Box. In fact, there are 16 templates inside of this box that are going to help you with running your online tutoring business much more smoothly. So today you're going to get to see the big reveal. What's inside of the box, right? Like we all want to know what is inside of the box. What templates do you get? What do they look like? All that great stuff. So we're going to be sharing that with you today. And I've asked my friend Elizabeth Hansford, some of you guys know her, woo, to come and join us and be part of the conversation. So you're going to get to see that all soon. All right, we are back. I do not know what happened to that bumper. It was supposed to be like the little online tutor logo thing. It disappeared. So we got to put that back on in and fix it. So we have people that are coming on in and joining us. So could you guys do me a favor and please tell us who you are, where you're from, and what it is that you guys tutor? Because the more that I see you, the more that I can refer you. I always love being able to give new tutors a new student just because I know how hard it is when you're getting started. And nobody wants to be seen as that person who's like constantly saying like, oh, please give me a student, give me a student. No, but it does feel good when you see like a new face all the time. And all of a sudden someone asks for a tutor. I'm like, oh, I know somebody who's getting started in that area. Let me refer them. Because you know what? It's all about being of service to people, right? And the more that you're of service to people, the more that you're going to be able to get. All right. So, Elizabeth, I'm curious. When I first mentioned this idea of business in a box, what were your thoughts? What were your ideas?
Oh, I first was just really curious as to what all was going to be a part of it, but when you kind of were explaining it to me, I was so excited because this is this is everything that a new tutor needs, or even an experienced tutor, to be honest, because we all have pieces that we are missing along the way. And I was just so excited to hear every single piece that you had thought of to include, and it's awesome. I can't wait to for everybody to hear about it.
I know. I'm excited to be able to share about it today. I have been working on this for the last 3 weeks, just tirelessly. I even went up. My sister-in-law just got a brand new boat. It's so exciting. I'm so excited for her. She got a boat that is that they can actually like sleep in and stuff. And so we've been calling it her yacht. So we were out on the yacht and we were out on it all day. And then one day, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna work on my business in a box. And I went into a little corner in one of like on her bed and down below while everybody's like up in the upper area like playing cards and stuff. And I'm like, okay, I should probably be hanging out with people, but I can't stop working on business in a box. It's so cool. So I'm very excited to be able to share business in a box with you guys and have you guys take a look at it. And Lynn Wilson, I always love seeing your face. You are not an old face. You are still a young chicken, my friend. You are still a young chicken, and you live in my dream world too. So
Yes, she
there's all of
does.
that. And we've got Natalie Chama in the house from London, and she is a writing tutor for secondary students. And we've got Tanika Watt from Jacksonville, Florida, a K-5 reading and math tutor.
And
Excellent. And of course we've got our wonderful Beth here.
I was just gonna say, and Tanika is a brand new tutor in our community as of like half an hour ago. So very
Wow.
exciting that she's joining us here
That
in this
is
community.
very exciting. Well, welcome. If you haven't met me before yet, my name's Joanne Kaminsky. I am an online reading tutor, and I've been tutoring online since 2010. And I still do tutoring online. I still do reading, and I also help other tutors that are getting their business started. And Elizabeth is our amazing virtual assistant here to help us with everything that we could ever possibly need help with. Like, she is the go-to girl. She makes my job actually possible. I don't know if I could help as many people in our community if it weren't for Beth. So, Beth, thank you for everything that you do.
Oh, well, thank you. Yeah, I love my job. I love working with everybody and helping out around the community. It's a lot of fun, especially just working with all the courses and everything. So we just
Yeah.
started our Jumpstart this week, so that's been super, super fun.
Oh, I've never been more excited for Jumpstart than this new group of people that has just started. They are on fire. So on fire, and I just love that like gets me even more on fire to do what it is that I'm doing. And so exciting. And they got to be the very first people to see the business in a box. They were like going in tirelessly, like downloading every single document that they possibly could. It was just awesome. And we've got Raja and we've got Dehay in the house. D in the house. Woo woo D. And we also have Suzanne Davis, one of our coaches, in the house as well. So I'm so glad that you guys are all here. And hey, what I would love for you guys to be able to do, if you've already seen the business in a box, like you're part of this new jumpstart group and you've already gotten a chance to like download stuff, I'd love to know, like, inside of your the comments here, what are your thoughts about it? What excited you? I know yesterday I was reading from one person. Her excitement was just like over the top. She's like, I give it 2 thumbs up. It's awesome. She's like, this is great. It's got all the pieces that I need. And that's so exciting. And we've had people
That's
just kind of
all
going on
great.
in and just purchasing it over and over again this morning. So thanks you guys for, supporting me, what it is that I do. This box helps me to be able to, be able to continue to do programs like this where I am serving and helping you guys. So glad that it is helpful for you and so glad that it's useful. So I don't know like how much of inside of the box you've been able to see yet, Elizabeth. Have you gotten to go on in and dive deep yet? Oh, we can't hear you.
Uh-oh.
There we go. Now I can hear you.
Okay, sorry. I've seen a few of the documents, but I have not seen the whole thing. So I'm just excited as everybody else is to see the whole thing today.
So what do you
So
guys think? Do you think I should hit that share screen button? If you want me to hit that share screen button, just type that in here. Share screen. Yes, please. Something. Type it on in. We're going to wait for you. We're not going to share the screen until you guys give the thumbs up okay for me to share the screen. Oh, we've got some thumbs up from Natalie Chama.
I
All
was
right, what do
gonna
we
say,
got, guys?
I was gonna say, please do it because I'm dying here now. I'm kidding.
I know we're making you wait. Natalie said sharing is caring. Hey, you know what I learned from my kids? I gotta share this like quick little fun fact with you guys while we're waiting for people to catch on up because there's like a 20-second delay. Um,
Mhm.
did you know that this emoji that we've been using for praying isn't actually a praying symbol? You knew that? Did you see that on TikTok?
Oh no, I didn't see it on TikTok.
Oh,
I heard it a while back, but I'm like I'm still gonna use it that way.
I know, I know. It's actually a high five.
Yeah,
I'm like,
true.
oopsies. But you know what? If I'm using it as a prayer symbol, and the person, like, if I'm like, I'm praying for you, they're not going to think I'm high fiving them.
I thought
All
that was
right.
really funny when I
Yeah.
saw
My
it.
daughter was telling me that the other day. I was like, oh, yeah. Well, that just goes to show my age, right? So here we go, you guys. Business in a box. Here we go. So this is what it looks like when you come on in. And there's a welcome video from me that shares information about the business in a box and then how you can access. But right inside, I am. I went too far. Let me go back to course contents here because this is what it will look like once you purchase. It looks like this. And for those of you that are like, I wonder if I have that. I'm in the Jumpstart course right now, the current fall 2020. Do I have that? You just click on that My Library right there and you will be able to find it. So if we take a look on over here, we have a template for managing your money and an income expense tracker. So, a lot of people in the beginning, they do not have any kind of system that's set up like um, what do I have set up? I have the QuickBooks set up or something like that, right? They don't have something like that set up. And in fact, I used a template for the first 4 years of my tutoring business. I use an Excel spreadsheet. So what I did though is I wanted something that would really give you a good overview of what it's going to look like. So here's what the document looks like. We still got the lorem ipsum in there. I don't know why it didn't save. Did I come here and save? I'm going to hit save so the lorem ipsum disappears. There we go. Sorry, guys. So here we go. And what you're going to find is when you click on here, there are some tabs right down here at the bottom for you to be able to utilize. We've got a dashboard. Now, the dashboard's locked right now because the dashboard's going to be based off of the information you put here. But this is going to be a good overview at a glance where you'll be able to see what are your sales from your students, what's your total profit loss for the year, and you'll be able to track all of that. It will be just a quick overview for you to have all of those little bits and pieces in place. So over here, any transaction that you have, it will go on in here, and then you just put the amount of that transaction and you put the date. And then you can keep track of your entire profit and loss, just putting that right inside of here. I usually do that the very last day of the month. That's when I take care of all of my expenses and all of that kind of stuff. But I also wanted you guys to know, what are some of the things that I can be writing on off? What are the expenses for my business? We have, you've got any advertising, office supplies. By the way, if you guys want office supplies, right now is the time to get them, right? Back to school is going on and they're all the sales. So if you need any office supplies, this is when I pick up my 25-cent notebooks because I always am writing inside of a notebook. So I bought 12 of these, one for each month so I constantly will have all of my stuff that I need. Yeah.
Oh, sorry. I was just gonna say this was one of the things that I did see, and I was super excited about it because I get super super overwhelmed when I am trying to track money and expenses and all of that kind of thing. And this just kind of lays it out in a really simple format, and it also, I think, if I understood it correctly, it does it automatically for you once you enter things in. And I was so excited when I saw that.
It calculates everything for you.
Yeah. So it was awesome.
And then there's a balance sheet as well. So you now can start taking a look at, okay, how much money do I have in checking? How much do I have in savings? How much do I have in current assets? How much do I have in these kinds of properties, land, buildings, equipment? So I know some people have brick and mortar businesses. So this is good for if you're an online tutor or if you're even a brick and mortar tutor as well. These pieces are going to come in handy for you. So you'll always know what your assets and your liabilities are when it comes to your business. So wanted to put that on out there for people. And then it has categories here. And you can take a look, okay, what kind of category is this? And you can put that on in and be able to choose, okay, is this an expense? Is it a cost of goods sold, or is it revenue? So you'll know the difference between all of those different things. So just a little cheat sheet there for some of you who are just getting started and may not have that. All right, and then after that, I'm going to go back to my little link here so that I can get back to the business in a box. So we're going backwards, taking a little trip through memory lane there. And I'm going to click back on course contents. Because I could have just hit there too. Because the next thing that we have in place is a lesson plan template. I've actually created 2 different templates. It really depends on what kind of style of teacher you are. But you can also go inside of Canva and you can edit these as well. So if we take a look here is my template number 2. It's right inside of Canva. And you can edit those to add your logo on there if you want to. You can edit those to just put in your quick student information inside of there. But here is really getting organized. So this would be for one day. And I know some of you have more than one student in a day, but you're going to put in there, the student's name, What activities do you want to specifically focus on with them? And then any notes that you have that from the lesson. Usually you don't really need any more space than that when it comes to planning. So that's the beautiful thing about online tutoring, is that your students really determine what needs to be taught. But I also wanted you to start thinking about too, like, what is your to-do list for the day, having it right there at a glance for you, and then an affirmation. So maybe you're still getting students, right? So maybe this is student, you only have one student and you want to be able to get 4 more students for the day. Then you're going to put here student B. And what activities are you going to put into place for your business to be able to get student B? Okay. So then you can start planning that on out. And what were some daily wins that you had? I know today that Max Pavlovsky, he's gotten another online tutoring student for 2 hours a week. So, woo, woo, well done, well done. He's going to be at the top of the leaderboard this time around when it comes to our Jumpstart Your Online Tutoring Business program. He is the one to watch, I'm telling you, which is awesome. So there's another lesson plan that you can check on out there and just see, would one of these work for you? Now, you may not use every single, template that's inside of here. That's fine. You may already have a different system, or you may not have a system at all. One of the things that I thought was really important was this is, I'm really excited about this. This is the student relationship management. Now I changed it to student because usually it's customer relationship management. It's a CRM. And I thought, okay, let's click here so that you guys can see it. Now, in order to utilize this, notice that I say to use this template, make sure to make a copy. And I actually have a video here to show you how to do that so that you can do it. But in order to use a document inside of Google, you have to first go to File here. It's still loading, so I can't do anything. But if I go to File and I go to Make a Copy, it's now going to save it to my drive. And I can do any editing or anything that I want to it. But here's the thing. We sometimes have students that are all over the place, right? You got students that are getting started. You have a parent who's contacted you. You have a student who's done the free assessment, but they haven't actually signed on yet. So here you can actually put on in what phase are they in, so that you know who you need to follow up with. And you could even put like a date there, right? Like follow up 9/14. Like they don't, because I'll tell you, like a lot of times my students will stop tutoring and their parents will be like, yeah, we want to get started though next summer again. So then I could put on there follow up, 6/2 and see if they still want to get started for tutoring for the summer. And that would help me stay on track with that. You have the parent name and you have the student name, so that you always can link those together. The parent's email, the contact type. Are they a potential customer, a current customer, or something else? Their phone number, so that you can add that into your phone. I find that just texting a parent, if the student isn't on for the session, works miracles, and the student is on within 5 minutes. So that really, really works. But then I also put inside of here, you guys, the time zone. Because the time zone conundrum is going to drive you bonkers. You're going to forget where your kids are from. So here I can just take a look. Okay, I know exactly what time zone they are in. You can put a couple of their interests here so you kind of have at a glance more information about them real quick. A description of what their child is struggling with and how they find you, so that you can track your marketing strategies. Is what you're doing working? So all of that is in one nice spot for you, so that you have your student at a glance. You can just say, okay, oh yeah, that's right. They're struggling with phonics and fluency, and they love everything about dogs.
So I gotta tell you, Joanne, this was probably of the ones that I've seen so far, and of course I haven't seen all of them, but this was probably my favorite because I know we've talked about this before, how I've struggled with this aspect. Okay, this person over here, I still got to follow up with them. This person over here, they are a client, but they're still trying to figure out that, all of
Yeah.
those conversations. And this is a game changer because it's all in one place, it's all
Yep.
organized, the time zones. I mean, how much of a game changer is this? It's incredible. I mean,
Yeah. Yeah.
awesome.
Absolutely.
So awesome.
It is. It is. It is. It is. And
And
I wish I had something like this in place like right away. But you know what? I didn't. I didn't have a piece like this in place right away because I didn't know I needed it. And I think that's the biggest
right,
thing when we're getting started. We don't always know what it is that we need, right?
absolutely. Oh, totally.
So I was like actually kind of going through and start. I started to think about okay, what like how many hours did it take me to develop each of these different templates? It took me like an hour to develop all of these different templates. Okay. So then I started thinking, oh, well, if it took somebody an hour to develop all of these templates, let's say you knew you needed every single one of these templates and you developed them yourself, it would take you about 16 hours to develop, which means that let's say you charge $40 an hour, that would be 16 times $40, right? It's over $600 in savings from having somebody else just kind of give it to you versus, you have to be able to develop it all and think it through and all of that. Because you don't even know what to think through in the beginning, right? And like I said, like I didn't even have all these pieces in place when I got started. So
Right.
this would have been a game changer for me to keep everything a little bit more organized. But I'm going to give you guys right now, I have I don't know if I have, did I give you the link? I don't know if I give you the link. I was going to give you guys, there it is. I'm going to give you guys, I'm
I
selling it at,
grabbed it.
you did,
Here.
okay. We're selling it at $54, but for you guys that are watching right now, you get 50% off.
No way.
And
That's awesome.
this coupon will allow the coupon just to go right on in. It automatically will take away that 50% for you so that you can take advantage of that. All right, so let's come back on over here. We're going to go back because I know you want to see what are some of the other things you've gotten here, Joanne. We've got a business plan template. So those of you who have actually done business with me before, I didn't change anything to this business plan template. But for those people that are brand new, I think this is a real game changer because it's not like you need to have like this big, extensive business plan. But if you ever do get audited by the IRS, you are going to want to have a business plan in place. Otherwise, you could be deemed as a hobby business. And nobody wants to be deemed as a hobby business because that means that now you cannot claim your taxes or any of your expenses. And you don't want that. So if you have a business plan, even if it's simple like this, in place, it's going to be a game changer for you. So what I've done is I've added on here, like, what are your financial goals? How many students do you want to work with? What resources do you need? What things do you need to learn? And what are the top 10 actions you need to take? And then what is your 5-year vision? Because one of the requirements on a business plan for you to be not a hobby is that you have a 5-year plan. So that will help you to keep track of all of it. Now, keywords, this section here, you would think that this would always be the same, right? Nope, it's constantly changing. So you constantly have to be taking a look at what keywords are the ones that people are taking a look at now. All right, we're going to come back on in over here. Let me come on over here. We've got an onboarding checklist. So a lot of people are like, well, what do I need to do when I actually get a new student? Well, this onboarding checklist is going to be able to help you to know exactly what to put into place. Here it is. Just those quick actions that you need to be able to take. I always need to create like a recurring Zoom room. You need to have them fill out a registration form. I assess. You may not assess. You may just do a free consultation. So it's assess or consult. You need to write up a report or what is it that you're going to do going forward. You need to send an expectations letter. create a system for reschedules, set up a folder inside of your computer for each of your students, and then add their phone number into your phone for texting. This just lets you, like, you can just go through the checklist, boom, boom, boom. Yep, I put all those pieces in place, got it, and I'm good, right?
Still working on that second to last one, the folder for each of your students. I desperately need that. So,
It definitely helps. I mean, when we come on over here, you can take a look at my folder here under Bright Idea Tutoring. I've got students right here, and what I've done is every single one of my current students is right here. Now, if I'm no longer working with somebody, I can take this and I can move it into my archives because sometimes they come back. And when they come back, I want to still have their information. I don't have Asher anymore, so he can go right here into my archive students. So I just take him and I just put it into archive, and there we go. Asher moves on into the archives. That makes it really easy. So then I can click on my archives when students do come back, and all of their stuff is saved. Now, will I use all of that stuff? Maybe not, but it's helpful. It's really cool too, though, because I have like all of their reports and stuff in there. So just to see like how they've like progressed from when I worked with them before to, how they're doing now. I can see, okay, is the growth continuing, or have they slid or anything? And it usually is very satisfying to take a look and see that, nope, they're still growing, which is great.
that's awesome.
So let's come on back over here. We also have that welcome expectations letter. Now, I gave my welcome expectations letter as an example, but then I also created a link for you to be able to add your own information. So you just answer a couple of questions to really get your, like, form it to meet the needs of your own client. And this helps. Now, some people that have gone through the Jumpstart program, they're like, wait, I had this in the Jumpstart program. What's different about like this business in a box and some of the forms that you use in the Jumpstart program? What I found was that some people wanted all of the pieces in one place, like one tool that I could go to so that I could get all of the forms and resources that I need. And I felt like this was a great way to take some of the things that I have organized and designed in the past that are really useful for people, put it inside of here, and then and they can utilize it. For people who've never gotten started before, there's that information. Something that's always been asked, I don't use this, but I always get asked, do you have a contract for your tutoring services? Now, I don't have a contract for my tutoring services,
Right.
but since
You've
people
been
were asking for it, people want it. People want a contract. Just because I don't use a contract doesn't mean that other people shouldn't have a contract. So I wanted to be able to let you guys have access to that contract. So here is a contract that you're going to be able to utilize. It has all of the students' information on here. You're going to put in your applicable information into it. What will the scheduling look like? What's your cancellation policy? And then you can have everybody sign. The student, the parent, the tutor can all sign right on this one document so that you have that here. And I have here, add your business name and your website. It's going to make it look a little bit more professional if you do that.
That's awesome.
Would your
Yeah.
contract be your payment agreement? My contract, yeah, my contract is my payment agreement. Yes. It's also, though, the place where I am collecting all of their information in this specific case as well.
Yeah, I kind of have um, used the same system where I just take their like I have their payment be their contract, if that makes sense. Like
Yeah.
if they're agreeing to pay, then they're entering into this, contract with me. And so,
Yeah.
it's worked so far. I've never needed a contract, but some people like one, and so that's fine too.
Mm-hmm.
But
Or, yeah. And so it really just depends on your own personal preference, right? And
right,
you get
exactly.
to choose if you want to. It's not like you're less legit if you don't have a contract. Um,
Absolutely.
the student registration form will also collect that beginning information as well. So if you want to use a student registration form, what I did is I created one inside of Google Forms for you.
Awesome.
So here it is, all ready for you
Oh,
to be
this is
able
cool.
to utilize. So
Oh,
those of
this
you
is
guys that are
awesome.
like, oh, how do I create that registration form? Here you go. You're just going to make a copy, and um, you can go ahead. So you'll just enter that on in and be able to do it. So
Oh, perfect.
let me go
That's
back
awesome
here for a
because
second.
a lot of people struggle with, okay, what needs to be included on this kind of a form, and what shouldn't be included, and how do I what service do I use to create it, and everything.
Mm-hmm.
And I
Mm-hmm.
feel like that's one of the things, at least for myself, as tutors, we can make it more complicated than it needs to.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think about that? I think I've made it more complicated than it needs to be in the past.
Yeah, absolutely. Because we do care so much. I think it's like we
Yeah.
want to make sure that we get it right and we do it perfect. Um, and this can definitely help. Um, we also have here the student interest inventory, and I've put that together inside of a Google form as well for you. So if we take a look real quick, you'll get to see the
Mhm.
interest inventory, and it's got different questions. So like you'll be able to. I love
Oh,
this question. If I had $50, I would.
I love this because I feel like sometimes it's so well, all the time it's so helpful to know what students' interests are, because then you can incorporate it into the tutoring. And
Mm-hmm.
that's, I mean, especially with certain ages, it's so helpful to be able to use those interests um, in the tutoring,
Yeah.
whether you're
Yeah.
reading books about their interests or
Yeah.
doing math problems that incorporate the interests into the word problems, or anything like that. So
Yeah.
that's awesome.
Yeah, so and too, like, and this doesn't have to be something that you have like the family fill out. This could be
Right.
something like during your first session that
Yeah.
you're filling out. Like you have it open on your computer and just like, hey, so what's your favorite subject in school? And you like type it in. Hey, what kinds of books do you like to read? You type it in. What things do you like? What's your favorite color? And maybe the next time you see them, you ask, hey, what's your favorite song? What you don't even have to ask all the questions at once, but then again, like you get to incorporate their favorite things into the lesson. And that's going to help you with building your rapport and your relationship with the student so that they want to continue doing work with you.
Absolutely.
Now, this is a form
'Cause-
that I know lots of people don't take into consideration. It's the media permission form.
yes.
Okay.
So important.
Yeah. So, a lot of times tutors will videotape a session, and or a lot of times like they'll get a testimonial from a student, but they don't want to reveal who the student is. They want to protect their privacy, and so they don't ever use their information, you know and then it doesn't seem like a credible actual testimonial, and people start like, oh, they probably just made these testimonials up and blah blah blah. I actually had someone one time like, you know what my secret is to testimonials? They say, what, you make them up? I'm like, no. No, it's actually add their full name on there, right? And this allows you to do that without getting in trouble for doing that. So you just click on the photo release form. This is set up as a contract. um, there's two here: the photo release form for adults, and then one for minors. So I know some people are working with adults and some are working with minors. Both of those are inside of here so that you have legal, legit ability to be able to use their pictures or the videos without feeling like you're going to get sued if you do that.
Right.
There is the part of like client privacy. We don't really like talk about that as tutors as often. But at the same time, when it comes to like them having a testimonial with you, or like what if like you just want to do like a quick like snap, and you snap a picture. Like I would see my students in public, and then I would share that picture, um, because I had
Yeah.
built like a really solid relationship with the students that I tutor.
Mhm.
But there could be somebody who could have gone after me and said, you can't post pictures of my kid, right? And at least now it's like, no, you signed a media release form at the beginning of our relationship. And so that would have protected me if I had any issues. I never had any issues, but just saying.
Right, right, absolutely. And also it's helpful if you want to, as I'm starting to think about make videos with any of your students or anybody else, starting to do that. And so it's helpful for that reason as well, because it would cover you in that case. Um,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
oh, by the way, Lynn Wilson says this gets more awesome as you go along. Love the registration form. So
Oh, very cool. Very
yeah.
cool. All right, so we're gonna go back. We're gonna share screen. There's still more. There's still more stuff inside of this box. I know it feels
Wow.
like I've shared a lot of stuff inside of here. Um, and um, let's see. We've got, if we go to next category, this next category are those conversation templates. And
Gold
so
mine.
these
Gold.
are huge, right, for somebody who's just
Uh-huh.
getting started. Now, those of you that have been in my programs, you've seen these conversation sales after the conversation and with the parent starters. But these types of conversations, this is what the conversation needs to focus on. It's not you trying to prove that you're an expert. By this point, they should know you're an expert, right? It should be all about you trying to find out more information about the student. And then I have a video explaining how to go about the process so that they do start seeing you guys um, as a expert. Awesome. So we just had Tosha and Esmeralda Lozano just purchase the Business in a Box and Marvelous Kids. Awesome. I love this. Fantastic. You guys, I'm so glad. Thank you so much. It is a time saver. It's a huge time saver when people are getting started to really just have the pieces in place for their business so that they feel organized. Like, do you ever feel unorganized in your business?
The better question is, when do I feel organized? No, I'm kidding. But yes, I do struggle with that sometimes, and I'm working on it. I'm getting better, and I've learned a lot from you about how to do that. But yes, it's definitely a work in progress. So
Yeah. Yeah, and
and this
putting
will
those
help.
pieces in place can definitely help with the entire process and just make it smooth. Not only smooth for you, but feel
Mhm.
smooth for the client as well.
Right. Oh, absolutely.
And I
Yeah,
think that
and
that's key.
they notice a huge difference too. And I feel like when you talk a lot about being high touch with clients, especially at the beginning. Sorry, I don't mean to be going off in a different direction, but I feel like that's part of organization too, because if you're not organized, you can't be that high touch, and they really appreciate that at the beginning. So
Yes.
communicating with them on a regular basis and really being personable and organized. They
Yeah.
really appreciate.
Which really brings like an important piece up, right? Because a lot of people, they just want to have a getting started button that just starts having them schedule a time on their website.
Right.
Most people are not, they don't know enough about you to actually push that button. They
Mm,
need to know a little bit more about you before they are willing to do that, right? And
right.
so I even have like, I have something very I have to kind of weed my people out just because I can only work with so many students. I'm usually booked solid, and I usually only have about one, two, or three spots open to be able to work with students. So when I take a look at that, I decided I was going to put that they needed to put their credit card information in, so then I just have it. And
Yeah.
so sometimes those people will call me and they'd be like, "Oh, I noticed you needed my credit card." Hey, at least I got them to call me, and now it's a little bit more high touch, right? It's like, "Oh yeah,
Right.
yeah. I only put the credit card information on there because I find that the people that actually put their credit card in show up for the free assessment." I've never actually had a problem with a free assessment. Don't tell anybody. I mean, people usually
But
do show up for the free assessment. Maybe a couple people didn't, but I will tell
yeah,
you that everybody who's put their credit card in there has shown up for their free assessment and not missed it.
yeah,
So that says
for
something.
sure.
I bet you guys would love to be able to walk away today with a tip that you can utilize inside of your business that will be game changing for you.
Oh my goodness.
Anybody want a really good tip? No. All right, I'll just keep
Yeah,
it to myself. I'll keep it to myself.
I mean, I bet
I should keep all of these secrets to myself and not share them with anybody. That should be my new
that's not,
strategy. What do you think?
that's like, that's not the Joanne Kaminsky that I know. No, I'm kidding. It's not, but
I know. I just share it all and we go with it and people take what they want out of it. Oh, we've got somebody saying yes. We got another person saying yes. I want the tip. I want the tip. Give me the tip. Dang it. Joanne, stop talking. Stop chatting. Just give me the dang tip. All right. All right. All right. So this tip is going to be game changing for you. If everybody is saying yes to your tutoring services,
Mm. Oh, this is
you are
huge.
not charging enough.
Yep.
You should be getting some no's. So I've had people lately asking me this question: how do I tap into higher income people? Put your price point higher. Right? Put your price point higher. I have it on my website. I charge $100 an hour. There are no shocks. There's no whistles. There's nothing. Right? Like, I put on there why I charge what I charge, and I kind of give a rationale for it. And those people that follow that rationale, they come aboard with me. Or I have people who don't. But that is really a good way to be able to kind of hit those higher income people, right? If those higher income people, they are going to research your website a little bit more and be able to try to find what you're charging. And if you've got that on there, that can definitely help. Oh, so great. Somebody, okay, so I don't know who wrote this because they're in Facebook and I didn't open up my Facebook. So who was the person who just mentioned that the conversation guides changed their life?
Oh, that was me.
Oh,
Because it's true.
right. Because I remember in the beginning, we actually did, like, we did a group coaching call and we were talking about pricing. And I remember you saying something, I think you said something to the around the terms of, people think I charge too much money.
Yep.
And I said, okay, well, let's practice the sales conversation, you and
Mhm.
me. And I said, so how much do you charge? Do you remember what you answered?
Uh, and that was the first thing that came out of my mouth because I was so scared to even just talk about how much I charge, and no wonder people weren't going with me because I
Right.
mean, if I'm not confident about it, then why would they? Um,
Yeah.
but sorry. So yes. So I said I think I was charging $25 an hour at the point, but the first thing that did come out of my mouth was the so I was like, I charge $25 an hour, and then you stopped me right there. You were like, okay, so we need to revamp your whole message right here,
Yeah, and
and
so
awesome.
and you know what? We also need to talk about, like, when do we talk about prices? Okay, so
Yeah.
I have hidden my prices in my um, frequently asked questions. That's the FAQ section of my website. I've done that because somebody who is doing a little bit more research would be the person who would be wondering how much I charge. And, well, it is the number one question you get asked, right? How much do you charge? So I decided to put in my frequently asked questions. But I would not in initial consult talk about my prices. I
Right.
wouldn't in my free assessment talk about my prices. I don't talk about my prices until the sales conversation. And even then, I would say 90% of the time, I still don't even talk about my prices. I send them a document with their assessment report because at least now I've had the chance to prove myself to them that I am organized, that I say what I mean and I follow through.
Yeah.
So I said, I'm going to give you a free assessment. I did that. I said I was going to send you a report within 24 to 48 hours. I did that. And I'm sending you a how payment works sheet so you know exactly how that works and there are no surprises. And
Absolutely.
they move forward, and I usually don't even have to have the money conversation with them. Isn't that awesome? Like, how many of you guys hate the money conversation?
I
Yeah.
do still. I
So,
mean, I can do it, but I don't like it.
yeah,
But
absolutely. So, like, if you can totally skip that, wouldn't that be awesome?
mhm.
And I would say usually 80% of the time, I skip it.
Now it's the last thing besides, small talk niceties at the end of the conversation, that I talk about with a parent
Mm-hmm.
who's potentially moving forward with me. It is the last thing
Yep.
um, that they will um, talk about with me, because
Yeah.
I have learned to delay it and to talk about other things. Keep like you've taught me, keep asking questions about them, all of
Mm-hmm.
that. So,
Yep.
so those
Absolutely. Because
sorry.
at the end of the day, it is all about the student. It's not about you. They've had a chance to research you. Like if you think that they
Right.
haven't researched you before they start calling you, you're nuts. You're bonkers. Now, if you're smart, you've given them all the information they need to research you. You've got a LinkedIn page. You've got, your website in place. You've got all of that in place so that by the time that they are finding you, they've been able to research you in all these different places, see what information's out there, what are other people saying. A lot of times I have people say, I chose you because of your testimonials. Great. So testimonials were really important to that person. Are they important to everybody? No. I don't choose people based off of their testimonials. Like that's
Mhm.
not the first thing that I look at, but other people do. So you want to make sure you have testimonials on there. So lots
Right.
of pieces that need to be in place. This does really cut down on the workload. Um, oh, great question. Somebody asked if I could send a yes, Carolyn. I can send you a PayPal link so that you can purchase on PayPal. So I'll just put that in my note here to send that to you.
And
And then I'll add you into the course. Well, not
and
really course, but
Natalie Shama would like that as well.
you
Uh,
got it, Natalie. We'll
uh,
make sure to put that in place for you. So I will create that link, and then I will send that off to you guys a little bit later today, and you'll be able to get started. So I know it's weird. I wish I could choose like two different payment options inside of Kajabi. It only lets me choose one.
yeah.
So then I'll just send a link for it. Thumbs up, yes. Woo!
Good question from Tanika Watt. If you want to address that really quick.
Yes.
Should we explain what comes with the price on our website?
Oh, yeah. That's a great idea. Now, it's not something that I've done, but I do think that that adds value to your price. Um, I tell people that part through like my conversation, but you absolutely can tell people that too. Like you get access to this tool, this tool, this tool. I'm going to use the tools that are going to best fit you, but I'm not going to charge you for every single one of those things. Um, some
Mm-hmm.
people add them on as additional cost to the client. I don't do that. I just have raised my price so that it takes that into account. And I can afford everything that I need to be able to afford. Um, Oh wow, we've had 100 messages on Restream so far here. Restream is
Wow.
congratulating me. I just got a trophy. That's the first time I've ever
Wow.
seen. Oh, it says
That's
I can
awesome.
tweet it too. Look, I'm just gonna tweet that fact.
That's awesome.
Like you guys get to see me
Also,
retweet it there.
also, I think on that subject too, I think through your website and through sending like showing empathy and all of that on your website, people can see what comes with your price even without like showing it step by step, if that makes sense. Does that make
Hmm.
sense? I don't know.
Yeah.
um People can see that you are an expert and that, okay, she knows what she's talking about, he knows what he's talking about.
Hmm.
um so I don't know, but I
Yeah.
think I think it could be a great idea to or make a video about okay, this is what I do with my tutoring. Um, so,
I
um,
agree. Every time I raise my rates, Esme, it doesn't go away. I still get nervous.
mhm.
Still to this day. Like, I'm just like, oh God, please don't ask me what I charge. Please don't ask me what I charge. Why? Why? Like, it's totally, and then you get used to it. You're like, I charge $100 an hour. Or you say, um, you know, I have different packages that you'll be able to choose from that would be the best fit for your child. So, um, the rate is actually different. And those of you that just joined Jumpstart, haha, you got to learn the brand new secret.
Yeah.
Something that I learned. And I had people closing people for not just 1 hour, but 2 hours since they've started using it. So they're doubling how many times people are closing it. So that is only a secret that I do share in my Jumpstart community. So, or with my Insider Secrets Club members. So
It's an
sorry.
awesome secret. It's so
Yeah,
cool.
and I learned it by accident.
Sometimes the best things are learned that way. I
Yeah,
mean, sometimes.
yeah,
Um,
yeah. As
as
I
we
said, thanks for being real. You got it, girl. Hey, you know it just is. We like I am still human, you guys. I know that some of you like you know you respect me and where I'm at inside of my business, and I appreciate that. But I do think that it is important for you guys to know the head games that still try to seep forth into my own brain. And money is one of those things. I did grow up. We were that family that needed to go to the food pantry to get food so that we could have enough food for the week. So I didn't come from a place where we had a lot. And I got to tell you, I'm just so grateful today for all of the amazing opportunities that keep coming forward from everything. It's unbelievable. And when I keep my open mind on like, okay, you can push it a little higher. You can push it little higher, Joanne. You could still push it a little higher. When I hear that little voice, it's time to push it a little higher. Even though the other side of me is like, no, don't do it. No, 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 don't do it. And then I do it, and then I'm like, oh, that wasn't so bad. Yeah. Any questions about Business in a Box? Let me show you guys real quick all the pieces that you get before we head on out for those of you that are wondering. And I am going to put in here that link. Remember, this 50% off link is only going to be good until tomorrow at midnight. And then it'll only be offered to a group of people. I'm not going to tell you what group of people, to a group of people that you won't know who they are or how they get that link. So, you know.
wow.
And it only comes up once because then it expires. They only have 15 minutes to make the decision. Do I want the business in a box or not? And then it expires. So let me just share with you guys real quick again. I'm going to come on over here to our business in a box for online tutors. And we have inside of here a template for managing your money. We have a lesson plan template. You know what, the one thing I forgot to add in here, which I'm still going to add in here because I was intended to add it in here and I didn't, an invoice, a blank invoice, a Canva blank invoice. So for those of you that want to do invoicing individually and you want to have a professional looking invoice, I'm going to include that in there as well. We got the lesson plan template, the student relationship management. Most of these things are for you versus the actual client, right? So you don't have to worry about like giving your client too much stuff and overwhelming them. They're going to either get a welcome email or a contract, right? They're going to get a registration form or a contract. So you're going to choose what's going to be the best things. Everybody, I highly suggest everybody use the media permission form. That one's going to be a game changer for you because you just have that protection that you have permission to use anything that you use on social media with that student. And then you can make your decision. Do I want to use that? Do I not want to use that? You know, you can use your, does this make sense? We've got the business plan template so that it will help you with organizing your business, the onboarding checklist, so that when you're thinking of bringing on a new student, you can use this checklist to make sure that you remember that taking all those steps that you need to. That welcome letter, that expectations, the how payment works letter, the contract, the media permission form, the student registration form, the student interest inventory. Got click show more here. The initial conversation, the sales conversation, and um, I'm going to add in the next thing today. I'll add that on in there, which is the template for invoicing. And you'll be able to add in, if you have a logo, you can add your logo onto your invoice, all that great stuff. I'm making it through Canva. It's already done. I just need to add it into the program. So awesome stuff.
Yay.
And we keep having more and more people are going on in. We got Christy Nelson, who just joined us with that product. Lynn Wilson, who just purchased it. So thanks, you guys. I'd love to be able to hear, what your experience with it is as you continue to dive deeper into it and begin utilizing it with your students. So thanks, you guys, for joining me today for Lynn said, "How could I not buy it?" Right, of course. How could you not buy it? It's a ridiculously great price, right? I mean, it's not something that's for most of us as we're just getting started with our businesses. It's not something that's priced so high that we can't even think about, purchasing it. So it's all good. I'm so glad that you guys were able to join me today and learn a little bit more about the business in a box. And you guys have a wonderful, awesome day, you guys, and I will see all of you soon. Bye, everyone.